this will be an opportunity to showcase all the technologies, innovations, management practices that has been developed through partnership with the CG and CALRO. We want to do joint research proposals and joint research so that it is possible to disseminate these research findings to a wider audience, that is, to the farmers. As a partner, we can be able to work together to achieve that goal.
We are at Science Week, and we're very excited that we just launched the new science portfolio for CGIAR. And this portfolio has 8 science programs, 4 accelerators, and 1 scaling program. And the idea is that collectively, this portfolio really aims CGIAR for the future, the next 6 years of CGIAR working together, and also having a collective impact to solve some of the very, very big problems that we have globally. We also want to take the opportunity by doing the science to also help to set the tone of the global science agenda and help to drive that as well. With this portfolio, we have a very big ambition. One of the ambitions is to actually relieve 82 million people out of poverty globally. This is very big ambition, but we know that the science and the capabilities and working with over 3,000 partners, we can really make this happen. With science, we can.
It's really a pleasure to be with you here today. I have been wanting to really bring the community together since the first day with CGIAR. And the reason behind is I believe in science. I believe science voice has to be the loudest. We have to spotlight knowledge, and we have to use it.
Kenya is proud to host this landmark event, focusing on innovation and partnerships for food, nutrition, and climate-secure future that brings together the world's leading minds in agricultural research, innovation, and policy. Let me take this opportunity on behalf of the government and the people of Kenya to welcome you all to Nairobi, especially those delegates who have traveled from across the globe. Karibuni Kenya, the cradle of humanity and a hub of innovation in agri-food systems.
What we want is a positive impact on the global food security. Impact starts with insight, and I love it, really, but that's what science is. It brings us insight on issues so we can have the impact that we are looking for. We all agree that food security cannot happen without science, without research, without data, without analysis, without innovation, without intelligence.
We still have global food and water emergencies that we need to address, but we are also facing climate change, biodiversity loss, and new conflicts. Once again, we must build capabilities to be able to address these new problems. We have done it before, and I'm very confident we'll do it again.
Climate change is a very big challenge to agricultural systems across the world, and to be able to tackle effects of climate change, we need a lot of partnerships, a lot of collaborations. With partnerships, you are able to pool resources, expertise, knowledge, and data, and that way way research becomes efficient, effective, and sustainable going forward. A lot of work has been done, but it is not out there with the stakeholders, with the farmers. So I hope this will be an opportunity to showcase all the technologies, innovations, management practices that have been developed through partnership with the CG and CALRO. We want to do joint research proposals and joint research so that it is possible to disseminate these research findings to a wider audience, that is to the farmers. As a partner, we can be able to work together to achieve that goal.
We are at Science Week and we're very excited that we just launched the new science portfolio for CGIAR. And this portfolio has 8 science programs, 4 accelerators, and 1 scaling program. And the idea is that collectively, this portfolio really aims CGIAR for the future, the next 6 years of CGIAR working together, and also having a collective impact to solve some of the very big problems that we have globally. We also want to take the opportunity by doing the science to also help to set the tone of the global science agenda and help to drive that as well. With this portfolio, we have a very big ambition. One of the ambitions is to actually relieve 82 million people out of poverty globally. This is very big ambition, but we know that the science and the capabilities and working with over 3,000 partners, we can really make this happen. With science, we can.
Okay, no. All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to day 5 of an amazing week that we've had here at Science Week, thanks to CGIAR and our host here at UNON. I'm about to call the room to order, so please take your seats, and we can begin this penultimate day. Thank you so much for being with us. I hope you guys have had a fantastic week, both on and off the campus. And if there's an overflow, folks, I know this room is packed to the rafters. There's an overflow in Conference 4. Please feel free to use that, and it'll be just as good. I hope you guys have had have you guys had a good week? Have you had a good week? Have you? Yeah. These people in the middle have not had a good week. They're not clapping. What's going on here, man? What's going on? Not enough places to go visit in Village Market and have a good time, or what happened? Have you had a good week this week? Make some noise. All right, thanks so much, folks. Thank you. Honorable Dr. Paul Kiprono-Rono, Principal Secretary, the State Department of Agriculture. Dr. Ismahan El-Wafi, Executive Managing Director, CGIAR. Lindiwe Sibanda, Chair of CGIAR. Ambassadors, High Commissioners, scientists, innovators, young people, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to day 5. My name is Jeff Kwenange. I've been telling you all this in case you just forgot, but I got to remind you just in case. And listen to some of these statistics before I call on my first speaker. Listen to some of the statistics this week. It's been incredible. It's been 5 plenaries all week. It's been 92 events, 13,600 registered participants, more than 100 countries represented, thousands of young people. And when it comes to social media, folks, it's been smoking. More than 20 million impressions. And that's why I say, let's take it to the finish line and keep using those hashtags, okay? Hashtag Science Week, hashtag CGIAR Science Week, hashtag with Science We Can. Let's do that, folks, and I'm telling you, the thousands online and many more will know that Nairobi was the place to be. Congratulations to all involved. Congratulations for coming. Congratulations for turning up, everybody. And we're going to take it all the way to the finish line. And to start that off, I'd like to ask our host, Dr. Ismahan El-Wafi, to come to the stage and say a few words about her and her team. Doctor.
Thank you very much, Jeff. As I said at the beginning, I really wanted to bring the community together from day one. And that's, in my view, that was a vision. But that vision wouldn't have been possible without a number of people around. There was an amazing team that was behind it. So let me first thank my colleague in the global leadership team, but really the team that did the work this week. I want them to come up, as we call them, and have a group photo before we go to the closing session. And those, I would like to thank everybody that showed up, from all of you, people that are online and have been following us for a week. The numbers, the 13,600 people that registered to be part and parcel of the Science Week, it's a huge number. It shows that people are thirsty for science. People are thirsty for good news as well. They are thirsty for hope, and that's what science brings, and that's what CGIAR brings, solutions to the country level and the community where science could really thrive and work with each other. So let me call on the stage the tag team, Eric, Simon, Leah, Lily, Tanya, Givan, the event agency who did all the production and logistic work. Please. The Yunnan team, DJ, Nadia, Nelson, Shannon, Wilfrida, Josephine, and many others. Please join us on the stage. The emerging act team, Rubin, Lufingo, Omar, Katrina, Wigandro, Chloe, Sophie, Madi, who were in charge of the plenary program. The program and accelerator communicator who promoted the new portfolio for CGIAR 2025-2030, Evan, Gina, Abukun, Karen, Wandera, Simon, Roby, Isha, Barbara, Julie, Jeffrey, Marta, Mahereen, Riz, Raji, Nathan, and Bobby. the Calgary team, Dr. Eliud, please come and join us. Philister, Evan, Freda, Lusike, Caroline, Florida, Kipkemori, Karl, Margaret, David, and Steven, Miriam from Illyri, and Moses from Summit, who coordinated the exhibition area and the field trip. Please join us. Very special thanks to Illyri Operation, Procurement, Security, Communication, Corporate, and Leadership team who did a lot of the heavy lifting and which are too many to name. Please join us. All the CGIAR centers and system organization staff here and working remotely, thank you so much wholeheartedly. The Small and Mighty CGIAR Global Campaign event, Ruti, Debbie, Vanessa, Catherine, James, also the muscle and embodiment of Science Week, Natalia, and Nathan, who was leading all of this work. Very good, Natalia. Victor? Yeah. Yes. Thank you very much for everything you did, and now we start the closing session. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ismail. Well done. Great team, great week. Well done, guys. Another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Well done, guys. Is it just me, or does nobody ever ask or thank the MC for the... Did these... I mean, did these sessions drive themselves?
Jeff, I was leaving you to the end.
Oh, okay. My bad. I just felt a little left out of the photo. Dr. Ismail, no pressure. I'd like to call on stage right now Dr. Eliud Kiplimo-Kiriga. He's the DG and CEO of CalRO. On stage, please. Dr. Kiriga. And Dr. Rachel Chikwamba. She is the Chair, Science, Innovation, Impact and Partnership Committee of the International Partnership Board at CGIAR. Welcome. And before we get to your couple of comments, I'd like you all to turn your attention to the screens behind me. There's a message. First one up is Her Excellency Amina J. Mohammed, Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations. Let's take a listen.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure to join you at this inaugural CGIAR Science Week in Nairobi. You're coming together just a few months ahead of the second UN Food Systems Stocktake +4, which will be held in Addis Ababa at the end of July. At the Stocktake, we will have the chance to reflect on the progress we've made and, more importantly, chart the way forward. Progress on the SDGs requires accelerating the transition to sustainable food systems. Partnerships are essential in accelerating progress, bringing together diverse expertise to drive science-based solutions. By aligning research with policy and action and working with partners like CGIAR and the high-level panel of experts of the Committee on the World Food Security, we are building food systems that are resilient, sustainable, and inclusive, ensuring lasting impact in the face of climate change and global hunger. Yet we must also remain mindful of the challenges we face: geopolitical tensions, the impacts of climate change, economic uncertainty, and the urgent need for a reformed international financial architecture that supports these efforts. Today, 1/3 of the global population remains food insecure. Our food systems, responsible for 1/3 of global emissions, struggle to meet the growing nutritional demands of our communities. The urgency of addressing these challenges has never been clearer, and science must be at the heart of the solutions that we seek. It is critical that we leverage the full potential of science to drive the policies, the innovations, and investments that are essential to accelerate the changes we need. We must act with a sense of urgency in a fully integrated manner, scaling our efforts to meet the needs of those who are most affected by hunger, malnutrition, and the ongoing climate crisis. With only 5 years left to achieve the SDGs, multilateral platforms such as the Financing for Development Conference, the UN Ocean Conference, and the World Social Summit are key to advancing our shared goals. These forums offer us invaluable opportunities to come together, build partnerships, and align efforts to tackle hunger, malnutrition, climate change, and land degradation. I look forward to the outcomes of this Science Week, especially as we strengthen partnerships, inspire action at scale, and invest in science that can build resilient, equitable, and sustainable food systems. Together, we do have the power to shape a future where no one is left behind. I encourage you all to bring the results of this week, your knowledge, and your experiences to the upcoming Food Systems Stocktake. Let us move forward, united in our commitment to a more sustainable and inclusive world for everyone. Thank you.
I'd like to invite Dr. Eliud Kiplimo Kirega to come and say a few words. Karibu.
Thank you very much. Reflections for the week. The Science Week provided a critical platform for dialogue, collaboration, and innovation, bringing together global leaders, researchers, and partners to address the pressing challenges of food security. The discussions underscore the role of science, technology, and partnerships in transforming food systems for a more sustainable and equitable future. This can be summarized as follows. One is the significance of CGIAR Science Week as a global collaboration platform in bridging critical sectors. The event has uniquely convened agriculture, climate, and health stakeholders to address interconnected challenges threatening food security and sustainability. By integrating these domains, we have moved beyond siloed approaches to systemic solutions. Two, in accelerating innovation. The Science Week showcased transformative tools from AI-driven agricultural decision-making to climate-smart crop breeding technologies that are ready for scaling. These innovations provide actionable pathway to resilience. Therefore, the next steps for momentum include regional scaling, that is, prioritization of localized adaptations of proven technologies, particularly for smallholder farmers. Two, in terms of policy integration, working with African governments to embed Science Week outcome into national agricultural strategies, leveraging CGIAR's partnerships across the 100+ countries it operates. In terms of youth and gender focus, expansion of programs like the innovation showcases to empower women and youth as drivers of agri-food transformation. In terms of strategic partnerships and CALRO, our commitment is that the event has fostered partnerships in two major areas of focus. One is public-private synergies. Networks have been initiated and renewed, and alliances forged between CGIAR centers, CALRO, and agribusinesses to commercialize climate-smart and water-efficient technologies. The second one is South-South collaboration. This forum has also strengthened knowledge exchange with global South research institutions to address shared challenges like soil degradation and pest resilience. In terms of CALRO, what did we do over the week? CALRO has played a critical role in 3 key areas. Technology bridging, it was demonstrated at field visits to our centers how CALRO's adoption of CGIAR developed heat-resistant wheat varieties and climate-smart irrigation systems directly benefits Kenyan farmers. 2, as demonstrated in the exhibition, CALRO has launched partnerships to disseminate innovations through mobile platforms and local cooperatives, ensuring accessibility for marginalized communities. What is our future commitment? So CALRO's future commitment comprises of the following. 1 is research prioritization. CALRO's strategic plan 2023, 24, 27, 28 will be aligned with the CGIAR portfolio, focusing on AI-enabled pest forecasting and nature-based soil restoration, amongst others. Second commitment is that we will champion increased funding for collaborative R&D as emphasizing return on investment from projects like drought-tolerant maize hybrids, which boost yields by more than 40% in arid areas. In closing, this Science Week has reignited our collective resolve to transform food systems through science. CALRO commits to being the bridge between global innovation and local impact, ensuring no farmer is left behind in the climate crisis era we are in. Thank you very much, and God bless all of you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Elioti Plimo-Kirega from CALRO. Appreciate that. Next, I'd like you to turn your attention to the video screens behind me once again, and we'll have a video message from Dr. Jürgen Vogele. He's CGIAR System Council Board Vice President for Sustainable Development at the World Bank. Take a listen. Take a listen.
Good afternoon, friends and colleagues. It's been an exciting and extremely busy week for everyone. The world around us is changing rapidly with significant implications for the CGIAR. And I'm sure you have spent a lot of time discussing this in detail this week. Let us be clear. The need for CGIAR's work is stronger than ever. Population continues to grow. Increasingly severe weather events make food production more and more risky, and growing conflict around the world makes more and more people food insecure. And changing trade policies, as we see in the last few days, will affect hundreds of millions of people. At the same time, we see a decline in public spending for the needs of poor countries broadly. That also means competition for scarce research dollars is much fiercer now. For us as a CGIAR system, it becomes ever more critical to have a compelling narrative why investing in agricultural research has the highest return on the dollar and is a key part of the solution to a changing climate, migration, and conflict. We do need to tell a story about how many lives drought-resistant wheat varieties save, or flood-tolerant rice, or nutrition-dense crops. It is impact and scale that matters and will be the most convincing in donor capitals. And we must ask ourselves some fundamental questions. For starters, is our new research portfolio still 100% relevant, or do we need to prioritize even more for impact? Or how can we get more creative around new funding sources and modalities? Or we ask the question, does our business model and how and with whom we partner need a rethink? The new structure of CGIAR as an integrated partnership with its governing board will hopefully come into its own to help tackle these new challenges. To CGIAR management, Center Director Generals, researchers, I would like to say, look, the System Council and its members have had your back for over 50 years. That will not change now that the going has become tougher than usual. And the need for CGIAR's work greater than ever before. As everyone returns home and to their day jobs, I would urge you to keep rethinking partnerships, and especially their diversification. Also, please do whatever you can to help governments to repurpose agricultural subsidies and to invest more in agricultural research. CGIAR resource management seek and develop innovative financing solutions partnerships with non-traditional government funders, philanthropies, and private sector investors. For the CGIAR, research leaders prioritize best solutions with highest returns to scarce resources. We cannot do everything. We have to be selective, and we need to really be very deliberate about that. For CGIAR researchers, find ways of sharing costs and expertise across more diverse partners, including private sector, and concentrate on exploiting comparative advantages wherever they can be found. Now, my final takeaway message is that we must all pull together, traditional funders, new funders, including more private sector financing. The CGIAR Integrated Partnership Board needs to model a cast iron partnership across all CG centers, enabled to work with a broad array of external partners to exploit each and every individual comparative advantage. I frankly have no doubt that together we can do this. So I wish you a good weekend and a safe journey home.
And last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Rachel Chikwamba.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I rise on the protocol that has already been observed, and I hasten to thank the MC, lest he should withdraw the mic. On a serious note, since its inception, the CGIAR has shaped global agriculture and food production and food systems that underpin it, playing a critical role in enhancing yields and overall productivity of food systems, contributing to enhanced quality and nutrition of food, reducing poverty by providing farmers with access to improved technologies and practices that have helped boost their incomes, develop sustainable farming practices that protect the environment, conserve and rejuvenate natural resources, produce research that has influenced policies and investments that promote sustainable agriculture and food security. These things have been said throughout the week. This is part of the DNA of the CGIAR, but it cannot be said enough. The week that has been a tour de force of a showcase of the things that we have achieved. It has been a preview, an intriguing one of the things that are possible. In addition, the CGIAR and its partners have built the capacity and skills of researchers and farmers, ensuring the long-term sustainability of its work. With the rapid advances in technology, the CG continues to harness advanced and emerging technologies in pursuit of our mandate, and we've witnessed this in the past week. With its partners, they have demonstrated over the course of the week that they remain committed to and are on track to deliver on the mandate and to support the transformation of agri-food systems to deliver food security, economic stability, gender equality, and climate resilience. To this end, the role of partnerships in co-creation and co-implementation is a critical condition for success, and it came up a lot in our conversations over this past week. Partnerships between the private and public sectors, the CGIAR and national and regional organizations, UN agencies, universities, as well as partnerships with farmers were highlighted. On the latter, we heard that the voice of farmers has become paramount. Gone being the days when farmers were just recipients of innovations, to now an era in which they have become a critical partner along critical elements, in fact, of the innovation value chain. Partnering strategically has indeed been a recurring message throughout the week, especially as we seek to build and transform farming systems in the context of the current global climate, where climate change continues to be difficult, instability is an issue, the funding landscape is not the same. The CG is uniquely positioned to serve and complement ongoing initiatives through its extensive network of partnerships, and it remains a leader in fostering collaborative efforts to address these seemingly intractable global challenges. They have done this over the past 50 years in a shifting environment, and they continue to do this so very proudly, as we have witnessed this past week. Throughout this week again, the CG has articulated its vision to build, consolidate, and nurture partnerships that drive meaningful outcomes, and its commitment to enhancing research, innovation, and scaling capacities through mutual learning and co-development was really emphasized. For the youth that are in the room, I hope you have been inspired, and I do hope you take up careers in science and technology. In particular, you take up careers in agriculture. You have seen what is possible. You have seen the role of technology therein. You have seen its potential to transform not just our lives, but indeed how we engage the youth and how the youth can take charge of our common destiny by really being involved in what future belongs to them. As we look again to the future, we look forward to working together to address these global challenges through the CGIAR 2030 Research and Innovation Strategy, which again demonstrates commitment to integrated systems research to create sustainable and resilient food systems underpinned by solid science and evidence for policy development. Importantly, a clear case has been made for sustained global investment in research and science. Our partners have had our back for the past 50 years, I just heard, and they continue to have our back. Investment has continued to support us in innovating and in scaling the work that we do and in realizing the impact that has transformed food systems to date. We call upon our partners to continue to support us. Partners old and new, if you can enhance your investment in the work that we do to transform and build resilience and sustainability, particularly in the local food systems. I thank you.
And thank you, Dr. Chikwamba and the CGIAR board. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Kirega and Carol. Appreciate it. You may take your seats. Thank you very much. Once again, round of applause for our speakers right here. Our next session is entitled Remarks from Center DGs. I'd like to call on stage Dr. Apollinaire Jikeng. He's the Director General, International Livestock Research Institute, that's ILRI. I'd like to call Dr. Bram Govertz. He's the Director General, International Maize and Wheat Improvement Center, that's CIMIT. I'd like to call Dr. Yvonne Pinto, Director General, International Rice Research Institute, that's IRI. And I'd like to call upon Dr. Sandra Milach. She's the Chief Scientist at CGIAR. And this session will be moderated by none other than Dr. Ismahan Elouafi, Executive Managing Director, CGIAR. Dr. Ismahan, you have the floor.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Jeff. Thank you very much to the closing remarks. I think we heard some great insights and some great questioning as well. Are we doing well? Could we do things differently? And I want to really pick the brain of these four leaders in science and in CGIAR to give us their views. So the first question, reflecting on this week's discussions, did you receive any feedback or insights on the portfolio approach that could help shape its future implementation in your region? And I would like really to call on Bram to start us on this question.
Thank you very much. And I want to give you three insights that I think we need to take forward when we want to deliver on that excellent portfolio that was presented so eloquently by Sandra. Number one, partnerships. Partnerships that can allow us to incorporate local knowledge, design therefore context-specific solutions that have impact on livelihoods, value chains, but especially are taking into account systems thinking. And the system thinking requires us to now step into a mode of design thinking, transformational scenario building, where we can really from the future backcast to the present. And this is where we need to incorporate also all the young scientists and capabilities so that we can activate the data and be locally relevant. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bram. What about you, Yvonne? What do you think? Have you heard things that make you change the pathway we are going, or reinforce your ideas around the portfolio and the way we are implementing it?
Thank you, Ismahan. I just want to say, what a memorable event. Great platform, global in its nature, very exciting to have so many people here face to face, building that connection which you really have successfully delivered. Learning a lot and great conversations, and I'm privileged to represent the Asian region here. So let me offer a few perspectives from there. From the portfolio perspective, if the CGIAR is going to transform land, water, and food systems, it must not underestimate water. In Asia and in Africa, water can cause food systems to collapse through water risks, climate change, and new science and a new generation of innovations are required for future water security. It can also catalyze transformation, changing access and increasing opportunities for smallholder farmers by lowering their water risks. I think also real emphasis on climate resilient crops from the drier regions, especially the dry lands. They're getting drier and more degraded, and we need more nature-friendly agricultural solutions. In relation to the portfolio overall, you've heard it several times, strengthening our partnerships, but rethinking development finance at its broadest level, and improving the transparency and accountability by which we deliver that, and ensuring that the evidence speaks for itself.
Thank you very much, Bram and Yvonne. You brought in the need for a system level. You brought in the need to rethink the way we partner. And that takes me to the next question, and also the system chair, the system council chair mentioned it. We need to rethink our partnerships. So how do you see us putting it in motion, Apollinaire and Sandra? So do you have new ideas of how we can partner better so that we get to the impact that we are striving for, that Sandra presented to us, which is, it makes me scared. So yesterday I couldn't sleep because those number of 182 million people pulled out of malnutrition will be chasing all of us. So it's not only us, it's CGIAR with partners. Over to you, Apollinaire. What do you think?
Thanks, Ismahan. It's my great pleasure to be on this panel. But before I do that, I once again want to thank the thousands of people who trusted that we had stories to tell them. And I think that's really important. And I want to thank you all in the room here for coming to Nairobi, staying with us up to delivering on this last mile. I sit here on behalf of a few other colleagues. Babu Kamani, the Africa Rice Director, Simeon Ewi, the Director of the IITA, Ali Abu Sabah for ICARDA, Eliane Elidubaro for C4ICAF. We are the collective voice of the CG in Africa. What I'm going to say here is really reflecting how we see the CG in Africa. But the CG in Africa has been domiciliated more than 50 years of our presence here. How can we partner? We've been partnering, and this year, the CGIAR presence in Africa is authentic, must continue to be long-term, otherwise we will not do that. We have to see our partnerships as not just a short-term transaction, it's long-term engagement. We're in this because we complement each other, we co-design, we co-implement, and then we scale together. In Africa, I think it's very important for us to celebrate some of the things that are really helping us to work coherently. Earlier this year, we celebrated and launched the CAADP Declaration in Uganda. It's a framework within which the collective CGIAR family can come together to deliver innovations that are needed. And throughout this week, we've heard that, we've testified that everyone has a piece to contribute. Moving forward, I think the dimension of co-creation of our research, share accountability and responsibility, ecosystem thinking, bringing it the youth, gender inclusivity, although in some fields we shouldn't say it, but we should proudly continue to say it because it helps us to move the agenda and to innovate. And the private sector is a dimension that we have to bring into the discussion. When we say we are partnering, are we engaging with the private sector? Africa is the next frontier. To push the boundary is going to be here. We have to make our science attractive to those who have been funding traditionally. We also have to make our science attractive to the private sector to invest in the technologies and the innovations that we are trying to develop. Partnership is about creating incentives. Why are we partnering? The DG of CALRO demonstrated how CALRO and Kenya as a country has benefited. The more we continue to partner through incentive development, the better we'll partner. But it's a long-term engagement. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Apollinaire. Sandra, what about you? How did you hear anything in terms of partnership and mechanisms of working with our partners?
Yeah. First of all, I want to thank the scientists who came and engaged this week. It was a fantastic week. A lot of science from lots of places. I think overall, I think we have more than two-thirds of the presence here. They were outside CGIAR, which gave us a lot of insights on how we can move forward. And I heard three things for me that were very important. First, the urgency for science solutions. We all have a common understanding that we cannot stop, that we really need urgency to make things happen. We need to get busy as soon as we end here. We need to go back to our institutions, to our places, and get going with urgency. The second thing is that we cannot go alone. We need to go together. We need to work together because our ambition is big. Our resources are decreasing, but we need to get smarter, and we only can do it by working together. There's no other way. No other way. So that's partnerships is central. Is like every single event that I participated this week. This came very, very, very clear. And I'm going to add a third one, which I think is the vibrancy of the youth that participated this week. It's just incredible. I was so inspired by the energy and by the urgency that they bring and the passion they bring to solve this problem. So really, really, I think it was these three messages for me. We need the vibrancy and the energy of the youth to move this forward.
Thank you very much, Apollinaire and Sandra. Apollinaire, you reminded us how the Kampala Declaration is really a framework to work in Africa. And we all know, and I really wouldn't stop citing the study of IFPRI and the fact that, yes, FAO say we need to produce 70% more, but actually when you look at the distribution, we need to produce more in Africa. The numbers say about 95%, whereas we need to produce about 48% in Asia, 47% in MENA, whereas in the high-income countries, we need to increase productivity by about 2%. I would really call on the colleagues to look at the study of IFPRI that shows that, yes, there is an average, but it's different. And in Africa, Apollinaire, I couldn't agree more with you. We need to co-create, we need to co-design, co-implement together. And thank you, Sandra, for bringing really the urgency as well. So that takes me to the third question to Bram. Bram, we talked a lot about South-South triangular cooperation. We talk about different continents, and you are representing the Americas continent. Yvonne is representing the Asia continent, and Apollinaire, the African continent. What are, from your perspective, the most significant challenges that CGIAR faces in delivering impact in the Americas?
Thank you. Yes, and speaking as a representative of those centers in the Americas, CIP, IFPRI, the Alliance, and CIMIT, I think the challenge is to keep delivering to farmers with excellence. Because it's only if we can turn what we do into excellent delivery for those farmers that we can maintain the returns on the investments that we have had to date, that we can maintain the $70 to $100 of investment for our wheat efforts, or the $25 to $37 for every dollar invested for the wheat efforts. And that's in the Americas. For example, also the US, 60% of the wheat comes from the CG efforts. And we have a huge opportunity. That opportunity is that science program on scaling. We need to get that right. And I think that is a huge challenge to get it right. Because that doesn't mean the CGIAR is going to scale. It means we need to create that interface where we can come together with the last mile, with the first mile delivery partners that are next to the farmers, that can translate their needs and connect it to what we can deliver. Now that's a huge opportunity. We have models that work. We have Masagro in Latin America. We have the consortium around Latin America beans that has been set up. We have the potato consortium and the connection to ecotourism and how that can set up innovations. So how can we take Masagro to Masagro Africa? How can we learn from TAP? How can we learn from Agrilac, from UU? All those models, we need to take the opportunity to do South-South learning. And of course, coming from Latin America, that call to not forget in that South-South learning that continent. It's a continent with biodiversity. It's a continent with environmental services. It is a continent that feeds the world. It's a continent that can offer. It is a continent that can learn. It's also the continent that has very strong host countries. And I really see a role for those host countries that came together during the lunch to articulate what they need for their country plans, so that we can take that into account in those scaling programs. Because scaling doesn't happen in a vacuum. It happens with real people sitting in a real context, sitting in a real ecosystem, sitting in a real country. So with that, those host countries coming together and being a space of exchange, another space of South-South collaboration, a space full of opportunity. It's also going to be a space full of challenges. But I think if anywhere we can overcome those challenges, it is in this conversation.
Thank you very much, Bram. On the same question, Apollinaire, would you like to give us your views?
So I fully agree and endorse what Bram has mentioned. I have 3 additional points that I would like to mention. The challenges that we anticipate, many have been indicated. Funding predictability and flexibility. I think that's really important. We need resources, predictable and continuous resources to do this. On this, I want to thank our funders who have really stood with us. Notwithstanding the current challenges, we have to appreciate the funders that we have. Many of our funders are in this room here. You could cut the check and say, go to Nairobi, do your science week. Being here is understanding, interacting with us, sharing with us, and aligning strategies, and hearing where we are about to fail, how we are succeeding, how we can pivot resources to do better and do more. I think funding predictability and flexibility and continuity are going to be important challenges to address. The second one is building national capacity. Without that, we cannot go beyond the CG. And we've demonstrated that it is possible. We have to build the capacity, we have to share the capacity, we have to sustain the capacity and maximize on the capacity that exists in the countries. Without resilient, empowered local partners, the CG cannot succeed. The last one is really the agility of our research agenda. Our research has to be focused on real-world application. It's not just a scientific exercise. I'm a scientist, but I want my science to be about developing solutions, which means what is true today may be no longer true tomorrow, which means we have to change course, we have to adjust the way we do things. These are the 3 challenges that I do anticipate, building on what Bram has mentioned, looking into the future.
Thank you very much. And I'm sure if Yvonne had some time to add, she will also go along the same lines. But Yvonne, you spent the whole week here. We had a global leadership team or retreat together before. What stands out for you? What would you take back to you to Philippines? I know you are flying right back home.
Thanks, Ismahan. And I also want to just acknowledge the centers I represent. So IMI with Mark Smith, ICRISAT with Dr. Himanshu Patak, World Fish with Essam Mohammed, and of course, IRI. What I want to say is, taking back, I think there are still things that we need to do really differently. We really need to transition from isolated initiatives to a value chain of action to deliver. And that really needs to be focused on what we're seeking to do in line with what host countries want and deserve. And we need to work together. So we need to build into that notion efficiencies, effectiveness, this precision focus. We have to integrate our solutions. We've got to make sure that is integration of things like water and dry lands. Our climates are changing, and so this notion of mixed farming systems is really alive and well. And what I would say is next time we do this, let's make sure we get more farmers in the room, and also let's give youth and young people an opportunity to develop their leadership and show us ways in which we can foster it. Leadership that deals with complexity and understands the trade-offs and drives us for better evidence to understand what works, so that together we get smarter and brighter, and we can influence those funding flows and innovative finances and the multilateral development banks, some of which are here today, and it's great to see them, so that they can partner with us to really deliver that impact. We're all incredibly passionate about it. We need a bit of discipline to tie us together, and we need to hold ourselves accountable. What do we want to deliver, and how do we demonstrate that? And I have to say that one sentence: science has to be at the heart of the solutions. That's what ties us together. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Yvonne, and definitely science ties us together. Sandra, what are you taking back to your home right here on the ELRI campus in Nairobi?
Okay, yes, now I'm part of the Nairobi, Kenya family. Yeah, so I moved here a couple of weeks ago, so living here now. For me, CGIAR is a global organization, very well locally positioned to deliver solutions. And for me, collectively, we need to really focus on the impact that we want to make. And I think that what this week we talk a lot about the new portfolio. And the aim of the new portfolio is really to bring cohesiveness to the science we deliver and the impact that we want to deliver. At the center of this, I would say, is really the farmer, the communities that we're serving. They are the ones who need to be at the center of our attention, because they are why we're here at the end of the day. All of us are here to help them to have food security, to be able to have better livelihoods, to have better nutrition. And why we do that really make sure that agriculture brings solutions to the planet. There is not a contribute of the planet problems, but really it's a solution for the planet problems that we have. So I think for me, the cohesiveness of this portfolio, the way we are looking science, and the way we're really putting the big ambition and the big problems that we want to solve, that for me is what is the most important message that we all have to take when we go home. The message that I'm going to take, that we need to keep, and our mission is so important, and we count on all of you guys to really make this happen. It's not, you know, we need the village, everybody to help. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sandra, while you have the mic, I would need each one of you to give us one key message to this great audience, and we'll go in order as you are seated. So Sandra, go ahead. What's your one key message or one idea you want everybody to really remember from the Science Week?
With science, we can make a difference.
Thank you.
Instead of giving a key message, I want you to do an exercise before you leave. Last opportunity. Look at the person that's sitting next to you at the left side. It's difficult. Look them deep in. Look at the one at the right side. It's that the left. That is in the science area. It's always a very difficult exercise. All right. All right. Now that you have done that, did you notice the potential in this room? Did you notice the smart woman that was sitting next to you? Did you notice the man that was charged with talent sitting next to you? So the good news is this room sits chock full of potential. The bad news is we haven't fed one family with potential. We haven't improved one livelihood trajectory with potential. For that, we need to step up collectively. For that, we need to take the collective decision that we can shape and write a new paradigm of science and innovation for development, a new paradigm of a global conversation around our development pathways that we want to design. For that, we need to step up together. So I hope you're going to enjoy your journey back home, however short or long it is. If it's long, sleep. If it's short, take a breath. Look outside at the landscape. Because as soon as you come home, it's going to be your job, it's going to be our job to turn potential into reality in real impact. Thank you.
So folks, we live in a really challenging world, and the times are really challenging. I would say to us, this is about people. This is about ordinary people living their lives. We are super clever, talented, sophisticated people in this room, but we have to keep it simple because we have to be able to deliver to people who live and scratch a living out of the earth. So we really have to connect with them, and we have to ensure that we are moving from a scientific organization to a scientific development organization. I grew up in Ethiopia during the time of the famine. I know we can do this together. Let's get together and make it happen.
Thanks for the opportunity to offer these few last words. The CGIAR is more than ever relevant. We've seen that this week. Secondly, Africa is home to the CGIAR. In Africa, we can learn, we can demonstrate, we can actually lead and charge ahead, maximizing on the CGIAR offering. Africa is ready with the potential not only to feed itself, but to go beyond Africa. Food, but also knowledge coming from Africa. Knowledge is what brought us here today. Knowledge is critical, but sharing that knowledge is more powerful than anything. As we go away, let's continue to share generously, and let's continue to live the dreams and the possibilities that the CGIAR family brings to the international agricultural development. Today, we have billions of people who are still hopeless, and that hope can only come from us here. There is no other CGIAR, there is no other construct globally looking at addressing the issues that we are addressing. We have the responsibility. The pressure is there, but we do have the tools and the resources to deliver on that. 2030 is not far away, where we will stop to check how well we've done. But we are on course on some of the things. Remember Nairobi, the Science Week? We don't know where the next one is going to be. Get ready, come, share, and show us how much progress you've made. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And really, I hope really the key messages from my colleague touch your heart. I really believe in every word they said. I think really, if we can do it, people here in the room, people online, nobody can do it. So we need really to get on the job. We should, all of us, aim to really make impact on life and livelihood of people through science, through innovation, through a strong partnership. I really hope, as I said at the beginning, that the global South will be as developed as the global North is, that girls and boys from the South will stay in the South, because this is the place where they're going to thrive. And I think really science is beautiful, diversification is beautiful, this collaboration and partnership is beautiful, and I think really we're going to hold to it and hold ourselves responsible. Because I think if we don't walk out of the room or get to our land and home, as Bram said, and we are not part and parcel of the solution, then maybe we shouldn't be doing the job we are doing. So I hope really that we go out of here with the power of being able to do it and taken the responsibility to do it. Thank you very much for this wonderful partnership, warmth, dedication, engagement, and I think this is just the beginning of a journey to save everybody and to have every child sleeping without being hungry or being feeling hurt. Thank you.
Allow me, on behalf of the Integrated Partnership Board, the Center Board chairs, and all the Center Board members, to say thank you to our Executive Managing Director, Ismail Elwafi, who has carried us for this Science Week. Thank you. Thank you to the global leadership team, our Director Generals from all our centers. This is what One CGIAR is about. With science, working together, we can do it for the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ismail. Thank you, Dr.
A big
Ndiwe.
proud to Jeff. We couldn't do it without him. Moderation doesn't happen by itself. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, CGIAR board. You guys have been fantastic. Great sound bites. Well done, everybody. Another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Another round of applause for the MC, just in case. All right, we're going to go to the official closing of this CGIAR Science Week, and that'll be by the Government of Kenya. I'd like to invite on stage Honorable Dr. Paul Kiprono Rono. He's the Principal Secretary, State Department for Agriculture. Dr. Rono.
Yes, Chef. In case you forget, can you also clap for Chef, please? All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Africa, Kenya, and these are numbers. These are Sandys. Are you Sandys? How many are Sandys? Ah, a whole house. So, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, all leaders, including the chair of CGIAR, the CEO's presence, the scientist, the expert, the captain of this great 1 week big discussions, the private sector partners, the donor community, the team from the farmer community. Ladies and gentlemen, all protocols of serve. Good afternoon. Is it afternoon or evening? I'm here on behalf of the Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Agriculture, Honorable Senator Mutai Kakwe, who would have liked to be here, but is held up in another commitment. I know, ladies and gentlemen, this 1 week engagement with scientists from mainly areas of agriculture to discuss about the food system and the survival of mankind, because we have to eat. I have no doubt that for the last 1 week, with this number of people, brains and knowledge in this room, I believe there is a consolidated wisdom for the way forward on matters to do with our food system. Ladies and gentlemen, I've heard about a little discussion from the panelists here. And from discussions, what has come to my mind is that there are some key areas which we need to keep attention. They are talking about inclusivity. They're talking about synergy. They are talking about partnership. They are also mentioning about youth in agriculture and women in agriculture. They are now discussing about technology and science in agriculture. I think this engagement of all of you, scientists, it is a demonstration that you need the world to stand with you and listen to you in numbers, because of the solutions you bring to the world on matters food system. This is a time for the world to listen to you. And this is a time for action. I know you have met in different forums, but we can clear this Science Week in Kenya to be the time for action. I know you in your discussion with the youth around, you might have mentioned the long stories of scientists, sometimes hard but no action. But I think with these numbers, with your brains and this momentum, it is high time, scientists, please stand tall, guide the world on matters to do it. Food system. You talk facts and figures. And at a time like this, when we are talking about climate change element and the whole philosophy of climate change, this is a time to listen to our scientists. We can only listen to our leaders, can only listen to our scientists if you pronounce yourself. I know scientists, you are normally very quiet in the dark rooms, but you can only be heard, ladies and gentlemen, if you speak out. And a forum like this should dictate the next way forward, so that as you do an audit on all our discussion as scientists, we are able to demonstrate that there were elements of great improvement on matters to do with action. As we discuss this, remember that the world population is growing. It is good to remember that and mention to everybody that you are very sorry. Tell us, you are growing in numbers. You are over 8 billion mouths to be fed. The land is limited. I've never seen the land growing. In Africa alone, we are talking about close to 1.2 billion population. Numbers are growing. Who will feed those people? It is you, scientists. It is you to stand with the world and feed the population for the mankind to remain standing. I felt that I should tell you that because a forum of over 6,000 people, scientists concentrating for a period of 1 week, I could feel the energy in the room. I could feel the heat in the room. I could feel your brains, you lost some cells because you are thinking hard. You are not the same after this meeting. 1 week, Chef. These people are not the same. They have lost some cells. Thinking critically for the world to ensure that they continue feeding the world in a sustainable manner and giving them healthy food. After you have lost those cells of yours, I don't know how many you lost. Scientists will also tell us, when you consider it for 1 week, how much of your energy is lost. And with your science also, you can tell us, how can we gain the energy? But what I want to tell you, Let your energy just don't let your energy just go like that. Let it be mentioned one time that you met in Africa, Kenya, to discuss matters to do with sustainable model for feeding the world in the name of food systems. And on that meeting, you arrive at a solution which addresses the current phenomenon on matters to do with climate change and the overgrowing population of the world, which you alone, you can assist us to feed the world because you are people with solution. But I'm sorry, you are so silent in the midst. Please stand tall, come out, let us discuss. I'm here to represent the leadership and pick all the discussion in terms of action plan so that we can take forward as a country and as world leaders and integrate with other programs of the world so that we have a structured approach on solving the world food problem. So ladies and gentlemen, I was just talking about that from my own perspective as a principal secretary in charge of agriculture, in charge of food. I've just come to check whether you have eaten. It looks like you have eaten over the last 1 week. Otherwise, it is with great pleasure and honor that I stand before you today to make the conclusion of the first CGIAR Science Week under the theme, Transforming Food System in a Climate Crisis. Over the past few days, this event has been a beacon of hope and innovation, bringing together leading minds in agriculture, climate, health, and development to address some of the most pressing challenges of our time. Everybody is looking at you that we are in Kenya, Science Week. Our expert is seated here. He has generated some ideas and gained some ideas. Please let us implement so that there is a difference. This Science Week has provided us with a unique platform for dialogue, collaboration, and action. This is a week where you met with your friend who is an expert in a particular area in matters science. This is a week where you took a cup of tea or coffee or a bottle of beer or a glass of water with a friend, discussing nothing, I hope so, but about our food system under this climate crisis. I hope that is what happened. Under a tree, is at a bar, in an hotel, in a room, while standing. You discuss. Please, let us implement. It has underscored the critical role of science and technology in transforming food systems to ensure sustainability, equity, and resilience. As indicated by the CEO, the Director General of CADRO, this event has demonstrated the power of partnership in bridging sectors and fostering integrated solutions. You could have met somewhere else. You could have done a virtual meeting, all of you. But you say you need to see one another, eyeball to eyeball. Touch a finger, hand, and see someone and discuss about it, the matter of food. From AI-driven agricultural tools to climate-smart crop breeding technologies, as well as livestock technologies showcased here, we have witnessed transformative innovation ready for scaling to benefit farmers worldwide. Youth, many times when you don't talk, you tend to be neglected. But in a forum like this, where all over the world we ask about where are youth in agriculture, this is a time to position your argument in black and white so that we capture here for the next course of action, so that we include youth in agriculture. All over the world, we make noise that where are our youth? This is a forum youth to demonstrate your technologies, your prowess, your intellect in changing the course in terms of agricultural transformation for the world. The discussion have also highlighted the importance of inclusivity, empowering marginalized communities. Women and youth, we have said, as key drivers of agricultural transformation. These principles highly resonate with Kenya's vision for sustainable development and align with CGIAR's mission to create resilient food system globally. Ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are outside this meeting, outside this 5-day event, please remember to talk about our farmers. There is no discussion if farmer is not at the center of it and bare minimum capacity building. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as you may be aware, the agricultural sector is a crucial pillar of Kenya's economy, contributing to about 20 to 33% of GDP directly and 27% indirectly, where over 40% of its total population and more than 70% of the rural population derive their livelihood. Agriculture exports are also a major source of foreign exchange earnings. Kenya is therefore very privileged to host this landmark event at the United Nations campus in Nairobi. Here we are in Nairobi, a place where we have wildlife in town, lions. It is part of science. But with that one in mind, it is just to ice our discussion in this serene environment. It's a nation that is very committed to agricultural innovation and climate resilience. We recognize the immense value of partnerships forged during this Science Week, as well as those that are already in existence. If there's something you can take home, is partnership. Let us not work as scientists in silos. The world is one because of science, because of technology. We are talking about a global market. We need to tap that idea and utilize as we engage as scientists to drive the next plans for the world on matters food. Moreover, initiatives such as the South-South Cooperation, which I have had, have strengthened knowledge exchange between Kenya and other nations facing similar challenges. Scientists, people who are not scientists are worried that climate change is a very serious phenomenon. We can change the way we do our farming. It can change other factors of life. But for a scientist, if you are worried, you are not a scientist. For a scientist, it's an opportunity to bring in the solution, to solve not the problem, the likely challenges which might come because of climate change. In Kenya, we have realized through our research, through CALRO, that there are some plants which can thrive in this climate change phenomenon. During drought, during heavy rains, and during serious disease pandemic, there are existing plants we can thrive. That is scientists telling us. So, if a scientist get worried and scared at this time, then the world will be scared. Scientists stand tall and say there is a solution for the problems the world is facing on climate change. As we conclude this transformative week, looking ahead and turning vision into action, I urge all stakeholders, scientists, policymakers, private sector leaders, and development partners to turn our discussion into concrete action. If you don't know, you need to know that with time, the world discussion, behaviors, and of important investment will be going towards healthy living. The human being wants to live for many, many years. You want to live forever. You'll be seeing so many research in the world, trying to see what are the solutions to make mankind stay for long. With that, scientists, we need you. With that, technology will be a greater area of investment. Those you will see a lot of attention on matters food, healthy living. You will see a lot of attention on matters to technology to look for better drugs, better treatment mechanisms, so that you and me, this mankind, can stay forever. I hope it will happen. Let us prioritize in this discussion localized adaptation, that is scale improvement technology tailored to specific regional needs. While you were discussing, I thought about, yes, what happened to our traditional agriculture? It was healthy, it was only lacking resources. So as scientists explore this space, please revisit the tested traditional agricultural methods which made the mankind long time ago to exist without science. It is important to revisit. But of important scientists, please let us remove our research from shelves, long voluminous books, into action. Please, there are so many research material, but they are in shelves. Please tell everybody in your room to clean the shelves and action. Point number 2, policy integration, where the Science Week outcomes are embedded into national strategies for agriculture and climate resilience. You remember the Malaba Declaration and also the Kampala Declaration on matters to do with agriculture. We are calling it Comprehensive African Agricultural Program. There is need to have an integration in all our discussion to those global, national, regional policies and programs, so that we speak from one booklet and also from one strategy. The third one is investment advocacy, where we mobilize resources to support cooperative research that delivers measurable impacts for farmers. Scientists are waiting for you to give us a better or a competitive methodology which can deliver results. When I say competitive, I wanted to say affordable. Because the thinking of a science report or research is very expensive. You need to tell us that, first of all, it is not expensive, or convince us it is expensive because it delivers this better solution, which could have been more expensive. That alone will assist the investors, the private partners, to come in like now and invest for you to come here and add a coin for a research document, which tomorrow we can appreciate. Private sector, I thank you. I really want to congratulate the private sector for the effort they take to remove a coin, to really invest in the research, which you may not tell the outcome. Apart from being a code-fearing person, you need to have another cut feeling, a cut 7, look at cut 5 in your mind, to really say, yes, I can invest on this journey until I get results. So first of all, you must have a passion, a drive, a belief, and let the scientists give us hope as the researchers, as you carry the long research, that there will be better results. That's why I was saying as scientists, tell us climate change is not a threat. Don't let non-scientists talk about it. and discuss it as if the world is ending, as if we don't have scientists. We have scientists. Tell us that you have a solution for the climate change phenomenon. And therefore, as a mankind, be stable, be strong, you are there. We'll provide solution, a better solution. A crisis like this should be an opportunity for other better solutions. As I close, ladies and gentlemen, I make this call to action by proposing the establishment of a Science Week Alliance, a platform to track commitments made during this event and publish annual progress reports on our collective achievements. This alliance will ensure accountability while fostering continued collaboration among stakeholders worldwide. Ladies and gentlemen, let us live here today, not just inspired, but resolute. Together we can transform food system through science, innovation, partnership, thus creating a future that is sustainable, equitable, and resilient for generations to come. Thank you all for your dedication and contribution during this Science Week. Kenya remains committed to being a leader in our cultural transformation and look forward to working with each one of you as we move forward. Thank you and God bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Once again, Dr. Kiprono Rono. Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Good job. Good job. Well done, well done. Before I call upon all our speakers and panelists to come up for a family photo op, one of the highlights of my week this week, I have to say this, is that I actually ran into an old colleague of mine, high school colleague, whom I hadn't seen in 45 years. Imagine that, 45 years. His name is Steve Omamo. I don't know if Steve, you're here. Are you here, Steve? There he is in the corner there. Steve, stand up, man. Stand up over there. Yeah. He was actually head boy in our school. Straight A student, which made the rest of us look very dumb. And he works for, is it IFPRI or one of those organizations? IFPRI. But he's been around the world. He was in Rome one time. I met him in Kigali, I think in Senegal, for conferences. A student to the core, and meeting him 45 years later. I don't want to say how old we are, but good to see you, Steve. Well done. Good job. Good job. Yeah. A round of vote of thanks, folks. First of all, the government of Kenya, sir. Dr. Rono, thank you so much for your leadership. Thank you, Director General Zainab Bangura and UNON for hosting us in this beautiful campus. Thank you, Dr. Iswan. Thank you so much for you, CGIAR, your team, your leadership. Been fantastic. It's been a week of brilliance and bold ideas, and you know what? Big moves. Each and every one of us, like I was saying yesterday, is going to be a part of it. It's all about impact through science and not science through impact. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Safe travels, like Dr. said earlier on. God bless you all. We'll see you at the next CGIAR, if I'm invited. And I'd like to ask all the speakers from this afternoon and the panelists, let's come up for a family photo, and then we can call it a day. We all go to the bar, the cafeteria. Come on up, ladies and gentlemen.